Pranams to Guru Bhai, pranams to Sadguru. Good evening to all the dignitaries of the dais and on the dais. It's a difficult task to summarize and give a final comment after hearing nearly 6 speakers. If it is 1 or 2 speakers, we can recollect. So I tried to bring and do justice to these speakers by bringing out 1 or 2 points. The first speaker, Dr. Priya Ramachandran, being a physician, she really spared some time, or she could spare some time for reading such great epics, but that particularly by Kamba Ramayanam. Such is a vast subject, and there are many subclasses, sub-stories and other things. Probably next to Sudha Seshayan, who is a very great exponent on Kamba Ramayanam, Priya Ramachandran also following the same footsteps. It is through Itikasas. It is not only Ramayana, Mahabharata. The Indian perspective of establishment of peace within oneself as well as outside is possible. And she attempted to bring out the peace which is possible through the epic Ramayana. Of course, we find dispensation of justice in ethics. The next speaker, Dr. Kalpana Shankar, talked about social justice and peace. Through her own experience working in an NGO, in which she is trying to eliminate child labor, poverty, bring the health and sanitation, and her concern to environment. And it seems her NGO had set up many micro enterprises, nearly 100,000 micro enterprises. It's a great one, the job they are doing. So social justice in terms of economic growth, she emphasized. It is not definitely a model practiced in Tamil Nadu model as a social justice. It is the menace of the liquor and drugs that is increasing in Tamil Nadu nowadays. So that is not social justice, but she would like to bring social justice by economic growth. For that, her NGO had given a plan, that is 5-pillar program. Coming to the next speaker, Madhumati Madam, her sole concern is bringing up the marginalized women and children. That is the motto of her foundation. It is dharma that sustains society. Very aptly she declared. It is dharma which differs from justice also, because justice is a narrow word, referred to one particular aspect, whereas dharma is a comprehensive, more than mere justice. She emphasizes justice is the application of law, whereas dharma deals with one's own duty. She emphasized the importance of education, especially for women. Then next speaker, Ms. Maithili Mehta, as an advocate, she defined what is justice. The sense of justice leads to unrest. The sense of injustice leads to what you call unrest. seeking justice is a very arduous task, no doubt, particularly in the court of law. And now, my personal observation, you may differ. Of course, she had at the end of her talk a positive note about the dispensation of justice in the Indian court. But I differ. Only those who have money and power can get justice in the court of Indian courts, I can say. I cannot go and knock the Chief Justice in the middle of the night. It is Kapil Sibal can do it. But I cannot. Because I cannot hire Kapil Sibal. So only money that will make justice rendered. Or a powerful NGO, in the name of NGO, or a social activist, who could disturb the Chief Justice in the middle of the concert, and he is running here and there to hear her plea in the Supreme Court in the middle of the night, and immediately he constituted a bench to hear in the dawn of the day. So this is the justice. As an advocate, she had put a positive note, as I said. Nowadays it is going, it is changing. For example, the mediation is the legal remedy, no doubt. And then she tried to find a wholesome solution to any problem. Another point she emphasized is forgiveness as an important virtue. Then coming to the next speaker, Ms. Soumitra Srinivasan. She works in an NGO and she is a part of that NGO. The aim of that NGO is to restore peace and justice, and she is trying to do it through the NGO. And she is trying to create awareness through short videos. One such a beautiful video we have witnessed. Particularly seeking legal redress to women. And she emphasized the inner peace as the goal. Peace is freedom from fear and anxiety. Coming to my colleague, Professor Srikala Nair, whose presentation is somewhat different from the other speakers. Being an academician and a professor, she had her own method of delivering the concept of peace is born of justice through Indian philosophical perspective. Of course, with the 3 steps, we can bring peace. She had elaborated the 3 steps. One is analysis or definition of the concept of peace and justice, and then methods to bring about this, and what are the challenges that we face in bringing this peace and justice. An important point she emphasized from Indian philosophical point, the truth brings to knowledge, and this knowledge takes you to the righteous action, and this will take you the well-being of the doer or the individual, and automatically you get peace as a byproduct. This is from the Indian perspective she had done. So, perform action as yajna, he emphasized. See, find all these speakers, they are all rooted in their own civilizational moorings. Their root is their cultural moorings, their root. Why I am emphasizing this is to bring the idea of Bharat as Vishwaguru. This is possible how? To recollect my memories with the inaugural session where Sri Manoharan had elaborated and very is in a right spirit he had spoken, that is by 2047, our country, that is 100 years after the independence, our country is definitely going to be the third largest economy in terms of GDP. Right. And he also pointed out that the Western culture is in terms of economy, whereas we should not be like that. Something more than the material economic terms of growth. So that's what I call it. Bharat should become Vishwaguru. It was Vishwaguru, but because of some problem and thousand year, we, the Bharatiyas, forgot about our strengths. And now it is possible to be Vishwaguru by 2047. And what one should do for that? It is not mere slogans that will make us Vishwaguru. But what one should do it? So next 24 hours, we have 24 years, we have to actively contribute to the growth of this nation to become Vishwaguru. What one should do it? One should develop the skills. It is not merely acquiring some education or knowledge. One should develop the skills. Contribute, using this skill, contribute to the nation building. I would like to recall one of the speakers, or two speakers were mentioning about the job and the education they had. The job, a person is doing some menial work after getting degree. See, when you see that degree and the job is proportional, then there is a problem. In this competitive world, one should learn or earn or develop skills in addition to the degrees which you are getting. And one should be patient to get a suitable job. Till then, whatever the job we get or one gets has to do. There is no this job is inferior or that job is inferior. As Sri Kala Nair was telling that, act as an yajna. And as she rightly said that boy was singing happily and doing that cleaning. See, involvement is more important. At the same time, develop the skill, and by this development of the skill, one can easily contribute towards the growth of the nation. And this is possible once you are rooted in your own cultural moorings. Allow the diversity. Allow the diversity in the society. Every individual can contribute. And accept this diversity, be it in ideology or faith. There is no one single ideology that will lead economic growth. There is no single faith that will bring you inner peace. So, identify the diversity, appreciate the diversity, allow the diversity. Through this diversity, our nation, Bharat, can become Vishwaguru. By that way, we can earn peace both inside as well as outside. With this remarks, I would like to end my comments with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. If you love peace, then hate injustice, hate tyranny, hate greed, but hate these things in yourself, not in another. Thank you. Sir, thank you for giving this opportunity. Pranams to Swamiji and all the important activists of Vishnu Mohan Foundation. And I am very grateful to be the moderator of this illustrious speakers who are all women. The lone man, the other person has gone up. Thank you.
Day when I'm chairing another session. I come from the field of literature. So you were a loner, the others were all in one group. I'm very happy to see that there is gender justice in having my colleague, Professor Sambath Kumar. I think deliberately he was foisted there like a terrorist, shall we say, philosophical terrorist. Okay? But I just thought, as a student of literature, there is something that in the last 20 years or so, the kind of form that came into existence, they were called life narratives, telling it as it is, and so on. Not even Mahabharata can be reduced to a kind of telling it as it is, because as Rajaji shows, there are so many built-in narratives there. But telling it as it is, life narratives were the new genres in the field of literature. And my own most intellectual and also forward-looking students, I sent them to Australia, where new kind of writing was coming up. They interviewed all these suppressed women who became dramatists, and these narratives, life narratives, what we read it, it was oral narrative, but it was made into theatre. So my very first PhD scholar from Australia, she worked on this subject. And so all these women whom I listened to were showing visual narratives and telling it as it is, whether it is your maid or, a beaten woman or somebody, even the husband. I have a pity for the husbands of these ladies, not these ladies. I'm talking about the way. I'm single, so I may not understand a husband's problem, but still I pity some of these rickshawalas and so on. Why do they drink and so on? So gender justice can also be looked at from the other point of view. Gender includes men also, because I've never worked in women's institutions. I have always worked in, studied also in that kind of situation. So all these women, I just remembered when I listened to them or saw their videos, they are representing actually visually the new change that has come over in the last 30 years called life narratives or telling it as it is. I come to my illustrious colleague. I'm nobody before her, except that she said that she saw me in the university. I have a little quarrel with you, Professor. Paneerselvam may also be there. You made a polarity, a binary between metaphysics and ethics. Okay? As a student of literature, I remember the great poem. I think Dr. Radhakrishnan is not here. I understand, madam. I have to quarrel with you. Otherwise, I cannot be an interlocutor. Okay? So, in the great poem among school children, Yeats was just deeply involved in Advaita Vedanta and also other literatures. Mohini Chatterjee was his teacher and so on. Eliot, whatever it is, when all is said and done, he did not go past a particular kind of void. Whereas, in the great poem among school children, the question that you almost made it a kind of a capsule, like a Western doctor who gives you a antibiotic for 5 days, you consume it and so on. You said self is that, and then ethics is, something inferior, something like that. On the other hand, the search is always for a kind of unity of being, and therefore the great poet wrote, oh, body swayed to music, can you know the dancer from dance? Okay, can you know dancer from dance? Dancer may be the ethics, and dance may be your self. Similarly, oh, the rooted blossomer, he's addressing the tree. Okay, are you the leaf, the bowl, or the branch? Which are you? And so, madam, I am not a philosopher. Paneerselvam is also there, but I just wanted to submit this in the presence of Swamiji, because Swamiji in every program is trying to just not only reconcile the two polarities. There is a reality which is beyond the polarities. Thank you very much for your patient time given to me. So.